2012, what a year of Maryland weather. Sure, not much snow, but we saw just about everything else Mother Nature could throw at us. A hurricane, tornadoes, record-breaking heat, and a storm so freakishly big, we didn't even have a name for it at first. So hold on tight. Extreme weather, an ABC 2 News special report starts right now. Welcome aboard. I'm ABC 2 Chief Meteorologist Wyatt Everhart.
I'm Good Morning Maryland meteorologist Lynette Charles.
And I'm meteorologist Mike Masco. In the next half hour, we're going to take you on a wild ride through some of the roughest weather we've seen this year.
It was a calm and mild winter, and aside from a few thunderstorms, a rather uneventful spring.
But as ABC 2 News' Kelly Swoop shows us, things kicked up big time on June 1st.
It hit so quickly we didn't get a chance to take pictures or stop and watch.
There wasn't any time for uh-ohs. It was, I bet you couldn't count to two before, it was all done and over.
We heard that unmistakable sound and ran for cover.
You just can't explain, what it just sounded like two freight trains crashing.
You didn't even hear the trees crack. The noise was so loud you couldn't even hear these big oaks snap in half.
Right away, people in Kingsville knew it was a tornado.
A thunderstorm wouldn't do what we heard. No, it sounded like a DC-9 coming through, actually. And then your ears. The pressure was ridiculous.
And as quickly as it started, the storm was over. With family members accounted for, it was time to assess the damage. A 4-mile stretch of damaged homes in Carroll County.
We have a huge hole in our roof.
Down power lines, shingles and siding torn off buildings. But it was the branches and tree limbs that really slowed us down.
The top of the tree is broken off, and the base of the trees are okay, but the top of the trees, there's another tree leaning over on another tree.
The National Weather Service issued 23 tornado warnings. 12 tornadoes touched the ground. 4 EF1 tornadoes with winds of up to 100 miles per hour. Falston was in the bullseye of one of those. Over $1 million in property damage along a small stretch of Route 1. Signs ripped off marquees, an entire car lot smashed, and buried under a concrete wall from his car repair shop, scared in his pain, was Keith Matthews.
Wondering, did anybody see me? Did anybody see this, while I'm laying underneath there?
Friends working nearby picked Keith up and pulled him out of the rubble.
I can't even begin to fathom what he went through, his thoughts. I just can't imagine. None of us can.
What happened in an instant will be with him for the rest of his life. The 44-year-old has a rod in his leg, a permanent souvenir of his survival.
You really don't know how many friends you got until, you get hurt, and next thing you know, they come out of everywhere.
A life or death situation for one, headaches for many. And for tree experts, these storms meant a mini boom in business.
I hate to say it, but disaster is a great thing for this type of business.
And while the cleanup may be over, it's that sound we'll never forget.
It's an act of God, and you just have to take it the way it is.
That was Kelly Swoop reporting. Now, in that outbreak, thank goodness no one died, and there were only a few injuries, but 12 was a huge number of twisters by Maryland standards. But it was not enough to set a record. That first place goes to 1994, when we had 14 of them. Now let's send it over to Mike in the Storm Center.
Yeah, thanks, Wyatt. Really, whether it's tracking severe weather or forecasting your work week, accuracy, it's our #1 priority here at ABC2. For the past 5 years, Weather Rate has rated the ABC2 weather team as the most accurate in Baltimore. We are rated on our daytime high projections along with overnight low temperatures and even wind speed and visibility. The pressure is on, and the results can certainly speak for themselves as we make a run for 5 years in a row being the best weather team in the entire state of Maryland. Now, the secret behind our accuracy is Maryland's most powerful Doppler radar, which is hands down the most powerful radar in the nation. We have the ability to tap into any radar network in the country, now sampling several storms, hundreds of miles away. Our X-Vision technology also allows us to take a look at 3D slices through storms, identifying where rotation is occurring, giving you the earliest warning before tornadoes form. We also have the ability to zero in on your neighborhood using our high-resolution zooming capability. This allows us to give you pinpoint accuracy when determining what type of weather is impacting your community. Lynette will send it on to you.
All right, thanks, Mike. And I'll tell you one thing. Often we can nail a forecast days ahead of time. Sometimes we only have hours. That was the situation we were in late June when we faced a storm with an unusual name. Eventually, we came to know it as the derecho.
It was June 29th, but we thought we were flashing back to the first of the month. We saw rain and lightning and heard thunder, and the wind sounded like a tornado.
Freight train, yes. And I said, oh, I heard that sound. And when I heard that, an oak tree snapped, and I ran to the basement.
It looked like a tornado, but the damage was different. It was more spread out. The all-over devastation caused by a fast-moving, long-lived line of intense thunderstorms called a derecho.
We both lived in Florida and we never saw it. We've been through hurricanes and we haven't seen this.
The near 70-mile-per-hour winds forced thousands of trees to fall. The destruction became deadly in Edgewater, where 25-year-old Kevin O'Brien was killed after a tree crashed down on his car.
If you was to see the car, I mean, the Lord must have wanted him and leave the other two behind.
Roads were treacherous.
There's just complete chaos as far as when traffic lights are out or if people are going the wrong way.
Every street was closed in from Liberty Heights, around Rogers, Northern Parkway. We were like boxed into our community by trees that were down.
To add insult to injury, a heat wave followed the storm. And with more than 1 million Marylanders without power, patience ran thin.
It's been hot. It's been dangerously hot.
Maryland was under a state of emergency. Heat indices hovered around 115 degrees.
No cable, no lights, no hot water, can't cook. Gotta spend more money on carry out. Everything in the refrigerator is done. Over $200 worth of groceries.
Everyone was trying to beat the heat. Baltimore City and Howard County opened community pools. Senior centers even extended hours. By day 6 of the cleanup, we saw linemen from as far away as Oklahoma, Alabama, Michigan, and even Canada.
It was about an 11-hour drive for us.
But despite efforts, BGE's reputation still took a hit.
Why bother? They don't do anything. I called yesterday. They told me, oh, we thought you were fixed. You were in the repairs. You were already done list. Hello?
We all must have the same scripted spiel. We're going to get to you when we get to you.
Lawmakers wanted answers.
We could have benefited, and the citizens could have benefited from more information sooner.
But even in the worst of times, we saw the best. Neighbors in Northeast Baltimore shared electric cords.
What we're on this planet to do is serve one another. And that's exactly, it's very simple, but we tend to complicate it, and that's exactly what's happened here.
And when the power finally came back on...
Oh, man, I was shaking everybody's hand, man. I was so glad to see them because that meant relief was coming.
Derecho is Spanish for direct or straight ahead, which is in contrast with the tornado, which is a twisted wind. Surface wind gusts which accompany a derecho can often approach or exceed 100 miles an hour. Some of the most intense summer derechos occur on the fringes of major heat waves like ours did. This type of storm is not the first of its kind to strike the state, but its impact was among the most severe and widespread. I'll send you now back to Mike.
Even in the middle of a storm or a power outage, you can get the most accurate forecast right to your mobile device. This is our Storm Shield. I want to introduce you to this. This is the ABC2 Storm Shield. Now, great feature is that you can customize it to your local community, your local city, and then you'll get instant alerts. Even has a radar feature to show you where the storms are and where they will be in the next couple of hours. Again, when you lose power, this is a fantastic app to download. Storm Shield. Wyatt?
All right, thank you very much, Mike. When we come back, it's almost guaranteed to go down as the biggest weather story of the year on the East Coast, and it landed right in our backyard.
I've seen a lot of snow up here, but not from a hurricane.
From snow in the mountains to flooding on the eastern shore, we take a look back at the impact of Hurricane Sandy. And we're testing your weather savvy tonight. Take a look. Maryland summers can be brutal, but on which date did we set our hottest temperature in state history? The answer when we come back with more ABC2 Extreme Weather.
You know I need someone
H.H. Gregg announces amazing holiday savings. Up to 25% off appliances, TVs, and more. ProScan 32-inch LED TVs, $199. Samsung 39-inch LED TVs, $399. 60-inch LG TVs, $799. Canon cameras, only $69. Android tablets, $69. See everything at hhgregg.com.
Audi A4 drivers have spoken. And they rank the A4 highest in Total Quality Index in its class. Experience the new Audi A4 at your local dealer today.
Come in and lease a 2013 Audi A4 Premium Plus with a $349 lease payment for qualified buyers.
2012. It's almost over, so why not make an end-of-year resolution with Kia's holiday sales event? J.D. Power & Associates ranked the Soul highest in its class in initial quality, and the Optima most appealing midsize car. Add in the Sorento, and Kia has some of the highest safety-rated vehicles on the road. 2012 may be coming to an end, but the best time to buy a Kia is right now. Get 0% APR plus $1,000 bonus cash on the Sorento.
Since 1936, Princeton Sports has been Baltimore's favorite sports store. Today, they're still family-owned and operated in Columbia and Baltimore. When you buy a gift from Princeton, you're not just buying the item, because everything they sell, they service. Check out their amazing selection of Cannondale bicycles for kids, women, road riders, and triathletes. They have a great selection of Under Armour, as well as the area's largest selection of ski, snowboard, and tennis equipment and clothing. And a Princeton Sports gift card lets you pick the store, not the present. Princeton Sports, plenty of convenient parking and awesome customer service.
Before the break, we asked you when Maryland set our record high temperature. The answer was B. We hit 109 degrees in 1936, way out in Cumberland. Welcome back to Extreme Weather, an ABC2 News special report. We're taking you through some of the biggest weather stories of 2012. And you know, she started off as an unnamed tropical wave way down in the Caribbean Sea and at the tail end of the hurricane season. But in just one short week, she would earn a name and make an impact few storms have ever rivaled. It was a hurricane arriving so late in the season it literally started to change into a nor'easter as it approached the coast. Think of it this way. What happens when you add the intensity of an early winter storm to the full power of a Category 2 hurricane? One word, superstorm. And Sandy would live up to that name, slamming into the New Jersey coast with a once-in-a-lifetime impact, generating Armageddon-like images on the Jersey shore.
It just hurts a lot because I actually grew up here in this city and grew up on this boardwalk. I played in the park as a kid, and it just hurts a lot to just see the boardwalk destroyed and damaged. Sandy even shuts down the city that never sleeps, sending a wall of water into the heart of New York City and its subway system. The 1,000-mile-wide Behemoth Storm Center coming ashore about 90 miles from Maryland. And while not as well covered by the national media, Sandy lands a ferocious punch to the Free State.
The storm moving up north into to New Jersey was a savior. And God, we pray for those people in New Jersey and New York, that's for certain.
On our eastern edge in Ocean City, the south part of OC sits under several feet of water. And the boardwalk in need of a rebuild after being washed over with 5 feet of storm surge. And speaking of rebuilding, the Ocean City Pier still needs one after it was ripped in half by huge waves reaching more than 20 feet. The wild seas also cutting a brand new inlet in Assateague's Barrier Island.
The gazebo is gone, and the boardwalk that they were starting to rebuild is in the parking lot.
Further south, on the edge of the Chesapeake, the impact was even more massive. Crisfield was beaten so bad by Sandy's 70-mile-per-hour winds and feet of floodwaters, the National Guard called in to get Marylanders out. But the Guard's biggest mission during Sandy would come some 300 miles west, as the high country of Garrett County experienced one of nature's rarest phenomena, hurricane-force snow.
I've seen a lot of snow up here, but not from a hurricane.
In their darkest hour, more than 80% of Marylanders living on our state's western edge go without power as temperatures plummet well below freezing, unable to escape more than 30 inches of heavy, wet, tree-shattering snow. All that unbelievable winter weather, courtesy of a storm born in the tropics. But for all of that, we have to be thankful. It's amazing to think what could have happened had Sandy come in just a few miles closer to Maryland. Lynette?
All right, Wyatt, and even when we're not on air, we are providing you with constant weather alerts around the clock. All you have to do is go to abc2news.com, hit the weather tab, and there you will be able to take an in-depth look at the 7-day forecast. There's also interactive radar that allows you to check the latest conditions right in your neighborhood. You can track the storms on the radar, and you can get the latest school closings and delays. Just a reminder, whenever you see severe weather happening in your neighborhood, take a picture, safely of course, and email it to pics@wmar.com. Wyatt?
Thank you, Lynette. Well, coming up, there's still plenty of time left this year for snow, ice, and sleet. Will your kids be making up lots of those snow days at the end of the school year? And we take a look back at some of the best weather pictures of 2012, like this one of summer lightning as seen through the lens of Jim Schuyler's camera. And we've got another weather trivia question for you. Take a look. Maryland holds the record for the most rainfall in 1 minute. How much did we get when that happened? The answer after the break.
Cheese judges. When they're not at work judging cheese, they're at parties talking cheese. He's talking cheese. She's talking cheese. They're always talking cheese. So when they awarded Cracker Barrel 2012 Gold for Cheddar for its rich, full flavor, they knew what they were talking about. Cracker Barrel, it's cheddar perfected.
New designer heels, nothing. Perfectly tailored suit, not a word. Imported scarf, nada. But those new glasses, yeah. Everyone noticed those.
With VisionWorks value, style costs a lot less. Now get 2 complete pairs for $89, including no-line bifocals, or a single vision pair for just $49.95. VisionWorks.
Here's to a whole world of happier holidays. Time to enchant, delight, and amaze. Safeway will help you gather everyone round. A smoked shank half ham is only 99 cents a pound. Get Breyer's ice cream for $2.48 and dessert will surely shine. Make it a grand finale with Starbucks, just $6.99. Turns out this season less is really so much more. So make your holiday merrier than ever before. Safeway, ingredients for life.
Turn your signature into a new Mazda. During Mazda's Zero to Drive event, lease select 2013 Mazdas for $0 down, 0 security deposit, 0 first month's payment, and 0 due at signing. It's our best deal of the season, only through January 2nd. During Mazda's Zero to Drive event, lease a 2013 Mazda 3 ISV with 0 due at lease signing.
So before the break, we asked you how much rain fell in Maryland in just 1 minute. It was enough to set an all-time record, and the answer was 1.23 inches. It happened in Unionville, Maryland, back in 1956. A lot of rain in 1 minute. You know, we're nearing the end of December and the start of the winter season, and we know what you want to know. How cold will it get? Do you need to buy a snow shovel or a snow blower? The question on everyone's mind. Meteorologist Mike Masco has the answers. Mike, what kind of winter are we looking at here?
That's going to be a tough one, but you know, I think we got a good grasp on this one. You know, I've been watching this, Wyatt, for the last several months, actually going back to June, believe it or not, and so far things have become rather interesting. Believe it or not, Sandy actually set the tone for the type of winter I expect. Here's my outlook that we debuted in November.
Talk about extremes, this past summer was the 13th hottest summer on record. 37 days hit 90 degrees or better. In July, we hit 104 degrees, not once, but twice. The heat index approached an astonishing 120 degrees, baking the city to its core July 22nd. The heat and humidity brought 7 rounds of severe weather outbreaks to the state. In late June, a rare derecho knocked out power to nearly 1 million people. 3 months later brought Superstorm Sandy, the strongest storm ever to make it north of North Carolina.
Could these extreme weather events be the precursor to an extreme winter ahead? Before looking into the future, let's take a look into the past and the warmth of the winter of 2011.
December started the warmth with temperatures running 5.5 degrees above average. Not one day in the month of December went below 41 degrees. By March, our temperatures were running over 10 degrees above average, making it the third warmest March in history for the Baltimore area. We were even considered a snow drought city last year, as BWI recorded a pathetic 1.8 inches of snow. This ranked it as the second snowless winter on record since 1883. Did you forget about this? The Snowmageddon of 2010 is still a very fresh memory in many commuters' minds. Only 2 years ago, Baltimore endured one of the most severe winters on record, recording a whopping 77.7 inches of snow. So the $64,000 question is, where do we go next?
There's a lot that goes into my winter outlook. There's the NAO, the PDO, the PNA, and many others. But there's only one true indicator that can best judge how severe this upcoming winter will be.
The most significant weather pattern that influences Baltimore winter is found in the Pacific. The warming and cooling of waters over the central Pacific can actually dictate the type of winter we can expect. I spoke with my colleague at the National Weather Service about the Pacific and how it may influence our weather this winter.
At this point, kind of the odds favor us to not be dealing with either El Nino or La Nina this winter, and we would have what we term ENSO-neutral conditions be the dominant factor in the tropical Pacific.
The second biggest factor to influence our winter is the North Atlantic Oscillation. It's better known as the NAO. Last year, we witnessed a positive phase, which kept the jet stream well to the west of Maryland. This brought in warm temperatures and the storm track well to the west of Baltimore. However, this year is starting to look a little bit different. Dramatic warming south of Greenland is indicating that more blocking could feature this winter. Research tells us that warming in the water south of Greenland promotes a negative NAO. That's different than last year. This type of setup would feature a stormier storm track. This would bring more snow, cold to the area. An ideal track if you like snow.
So here's what the signals now tell me about the upcoming winter. January will be the coldest month this winter, averaging 5 degrees below normal. A slight warm-up will occur by February. However, the entire winter as a whole will be colder than normal. December will feature a few snow events. However, the most snow will occur in January, with a few surprises in February. The average annual snowfall for Baltimore is 17.8 inches. My projection for this winter, 24.5 inches total.
All right, well, we got to see if that 5 inches for this month pans out. We'll be watching, of course, a storm in the future, but 24.5 inches, that puts us a little bit above average. What?
All right, Mike, we will see what happens, and we want to bring aboard our good friend Jim Schuyler. Hey, Jim, how you doing?
Appreciate you having me. Thank you.
If you've been on Facebook, you may have seen some of Jim's photos, because you may be an amateur, but you have professional quality weather photos, my friend. They are amazing. Let's take a look at some of them. Talk about this one right here in Baltimore.
Yeah, a classic landmark shot of the Domino Sugar plant with a lightning bolt hitting the sign and within the rain. It was an incredible shot, a lucky shot.
Right down on Locust Point. I hope they didn't melt any sugar there at Domino. How about this one?
Lightning near Hart Miller Island in Essex, outside of the rain. It proves even in a non-severe thunderstorm, lightning can hit outside of the rain, so you need to be inside when thunder occurs.
Cloud to ground lightning, always one of our #1 weather killers. So let's talk about this, a photo from June 1, a red letter Maryland weather day. Talk about this one.
Yeah, a classic example of a wall cloud and a rotating supercell thunderstorm with the wall cloud on the southwest side and the rain and the hail on the core of that. It's a very classic setup.
And that storm would eventually tornado. You know, it's not all severe weather though, Jim. We had some beautiful weather this year too. Talk about fall.
Beautiful fall foliage overlooking downtown Baltimore from Federal Hill. You can see a classic morning shot there. And then you can see here Loch Raven Reservoir. A classic calm evening with the sun setting over the trees.
Is this not some of the best fall color you've ever seen in Maryland? Look at that.
Incredible
it almost melts
shot.
into the
It just
water.
melts right into the water.
And we have to talk about just an amazing day for our state. And of course, that goes back to this celebration, right?
Beautiful. The Blue Angels, that barrel break there over top of Fort McHenry back in June of 2012. And you can see the echelon formation overlooking the stars and stripes of Fort McHenry. And look at that sneak pass underneath the Key Bridge in that foreground.
Leave this shot up for a second.
The vapor trails are incredible. Look at that.
Just
Nearly
says
Mach 1.
Maryland. I mean, our Navy and our military, such pride. And they were right here in Baltimore this summer. You captured it with amazing detail with your camera. Jim Schuyler, thank you so much for coming in.
Having me.
Incredible photos. Check them out on Facebook. Up next, we're going to take a look ahead as each of us share our weather predictions for 2013. You'll want to see it. Stick around. We'll be right back.
public notice. Farm on Mail! Now, for 3 days only, activewear. Reebok, Puma, Stussy, Rusty, $7. Designer boots. Outerwear, including fur-lined sweaters, fleece, and hoodies, $10. Great gifts from Disney, Superman, Spider-Man, Angry Birds, Mickey Mouse, $5. And now, special purchase, limited quantity, DJ headphones. Below cost, 2 for $5. Plus toys. Mattel, Hasbro, Fisher-Price, Little Tikes, $3. So now, come stretch those bills. Farm on Mails.
Hello? Hi, this is the sea calling. I'm talking to the sea? Is this for real? Yeah.
What?
I want you to close your eyes and imagine a place in the middle of me where the world revolves around you.
Can I go now?
Sure.
Royal Caribbean cruises from Baltimore starting from $70 per day. Call 1-800-ROYAL-CARIBBEAN.
Hi, I'm Bull Bullard with the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters. We're teaming up with Celebrity Learning Centers this holiday season. Donate a new toy to the ABC2 Kindertime Toy Drive. Drop it off at any Celebrity location. Then come see me play here in Baltimore, December 29th.
At Celebrity Learning Centers, our mission is to protect, educate, and nurture every child in our care. Now we have another mission, to help less fortunate children during the holidays. Please join us by donating a new toy at one of Celebrity's 20 area locations.
Hurricane Sandy brought unthinkable devastation to our Garden State. Homes, businesses, and state treasures were destroyed, but our spirit wasn't. That's why Chris and I are asking you to join us in supporting communities affected by the storm. They need our help, and we must act now. Please visit sandynjrelieffund.org so we can start rebuilding New Jersey together. Thank you for your generosity.
All right, welcome back as we wrap up extreme weather. You know, we've talked all about 2012. What about 2013? Any thoughts on this one, Mike?
I think this is going to be a tough one, but I'm going to take hurricane season, all right? We're going to say that it's going to be lack of wind shear, okay, because of not really an established El Nino. Waters are still super warm, and I do think that'll remain the case. So warm waters, lack of wind shear, that's unfortunately a recipe for more hurricanes this season.
Could be year number 4 because we've had Earl, Irene, and now Sandy. Lynette, what are your thoughts on 2013?
All right, so Mike had hurricanes. I'm going with tornadoes the spring season because spring's my favorite time of the year. But yeah, we haven't had a lot of tornadoes during spring, so I'm going to go with this time we're going to have an active tornado season during spring.
Think back to the June 1 outbreak this year. That's been an active time here in Maryland. I'm just going to say this, hot and humid for the summer of 2013. I'm telling you, it's going to be really humid and hot, especially across the Baltimore area. Want to point you real quick to our website. Don't forget abc2news.com, where you can always find Maryland's most accurate forecast and Maryland's most powerful radar. You can also get it on your mobile device for iPhone or Droid. Check out our ABC2 News and weather apps. That is going to wrap it up for Extreme Weather and ABC2 News Special Report. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you here next time.